Hey, what's going on, DFS Army? It's Craigman, aka Cash Gig here. Gonna do a little bit of a MLB, not a tutorial, but kind of go through the early slate on Fanduel, kind of how I'm gonna set it up in our Domination Station. Kind of talk about some pitchers I like, some stacks that I like, and kind of how I'm gonna set it up. Just a quick down and dirty video. And then maybe for the main slate, go over it and do both DraftKings and FanDuel. But for this early slate, I figure I would just do FanDuel with the one pitcher and kind of talk about it and some of the pitchers that I like, and just use the Domination Station to kind of to show how I'm going to set it up. So let's just dive into this. And if you like these videos and you want more baseball videos, hit that thumbs up button for me, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you know when I go live. Let's jump into it. All right, as you see, I am on FanDuel here. Baseball, early slate. We got a nice 5-gamer here. I'm going to run... we'll put 100 lineups in here. I'll probably run 150, but just for as we going through things here, I'm gonna leave it at tournament mode, fantasy points. I'm gonna use 2 uniques, and I'll leave it on I'll put it on server. 5-gamer. I'm not gonna allow any hitters versus my pitcher. I think you could use one if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. I'm not gonna force anything in here, and I'll put 15% randomization on. We have a chart over at DFSArmy. Number of games, what the winning lineups have been. And 4-3 has been king in most things. So I'm going to run 100% of my lineups. I know I'll do 75% in 4-3. And I'm going to let the rest fall wherever they may lean. We want to stack, but we've also seen some stacks of 3-2-1 and other things as well. We haven't seen a whole lot of 4-4 in a 5-game slate, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to leave it 75% and let the rest give me what it gives me. I think there's a lot of ways you can do this, but looking at that chart helps, and you can get access to that chart that we have over at DFSArmy. Use promo code CashCake, save 10%, and see the cheat sheets as well. They're up and ready to go. But first and foremost, before I do any of this, again, I'm going to set 75%. Before I set up my stacks, I'm going to come down here to pitching. What do we want to do for pitching today? Now, if you notice over on DraftKings, Kluber is expensive. Corey Kluber's like 10.5 on DraftKings. He's 8,400 on FanDuel. He has, a minus 176, a higher, Vegas has him a higher favorite than he does for Zach Plesac. But Zach Plesac's got a better matchup against Detroit. Detroit strikes out 28.2% clip against right-handed pitchers. They got a .285 WOBA against right-hander pitchers as well, which is the best on the slate outside of Pittsburgh. They got only .266 WOBA against right-handed pitchers going up against Jake Arrieta. But I still want to, Plesac's going to be my guy here. I'm fine with playing some Kluber. I have no problem playing some Corey Kluber here. I have no problem playing him on FanDuel 8,400. I think on DraftKings, though, it's simple. I'm going down to Zach Plesac. He's 9,800. But on FanDuel 8,400, it does let you get a few more things. But I think I'm going to have a little bit more Jake Arrieta just going up against that Pittsburgh lineup and how they're not very, good against, against right-handed pitching. My only issue is Jake Arrieta's strikeout rate is not as high as Zach Plesac. So I'm not going to really throw a ton out there, but I am going to have some Jake Arrieta here, coming down, pitching a little bit more. I don't know if I'll have any Julio Teheran. The Dark Knight, Matt Harvey. No, thank you. I'm going to stack against that turd. He's just no thanks. Boston's going to be one of my favorite stacks here on this early slate. So I don't want any of that, but I mean, you can look at some Tyler Anderson, if you want to, or Julio Teheran. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go Jake Arrieta for the Cubs. I think I'm going to go a little bit of Kluber, and Zach Plesac is the guy that I want the most if I can get some Zach Plesac in there. So I'm going to take a stand on 3 pitchers on this slate. You can play as many as you want to, but these are the kind of guys that I'm looking at. I don't think I'm going to go anywhere else here but these 3 guys. It's just where I'm landing on FanDuel. Let's look here. Is there anybody else that I really want to add? I don't think so. I think that's about it. Let's look at those guys. So stacks. Okay. Primary stacks. What do I want to do with them? Secondary stacks, again, we're running a lot of 4-3 here. I think I'm going to run a lot of Boston stacks here going up against Matt Harvey. Again, like I said, he gives up a .336 WOBA against right-handed bats, which is second on this slate behind the Yankees, who have a .349 against Stripling. So I want a lot of Boston. I want a lot of Yankees here, and I think I want Cubs. I want some Cubs here as well. They have I think they do have the highest implied team total on the slate. Yeah, they got it's 11 total in that game in Pittsburgh and Chicago, and they got a 6.09 implied team total. So I do want me some Cubs here. If we look at Boston, Boston has a 5.58 implied run total. Cleveland has a 5.33. Yankees just shy here at 5. So I don't mind even putting some Cleveland here as well. Maybe we'll throw some Cleveland and put those 4. And then again, my secondary stacks, I like to kind of run a little bit of everybody, to be honest, because you just never know. But on my primary stacks, I do like to pick the guys that I do want here and decide how many that I want. So I'm just going to put those 4 teams in my primary stacks, and then I'm going to leave the rest of them here. And I don't even mind doing this just to get a little bit of everybody. If you want to put on a 5-gamer here, maybe I'll leave it at 5% just to kind of give everybody here in this first run. Again, 100 lineups. I'm going to let this run and kind of see what it gives me and then kind of run from there. So got 100 lineups. Going to let it push through. Again, I've picked those 3 pitchers. You can add a few more if you wanted to, but that's what we have. So let's see where this gives us here. All right, run 100 lineups. Now, they have Tanner Houck for Boston pitching. He'll be in here as well, but he's just not in here but when the lineups get confirmed, he'll be in the Pro as well. But he's 9K, and I don't really want to go to him. If I did, it would be like 10%. I guess you could go to minor as well, but I'm not really looking at these guys. I'm going to stick with my 3 pitchers that I like. So just running it raw, it gives us 64% Zach Plesac. I love that. I wanted to have most of him. And I kind of do like Kluber being out here at 7%. I think he's going to be super popular. I think a lot of people are going to be on him. I don't mind playing him, but at the same time, Toronto's a good offensive unit, and I think it's a solid, say, fade. If you want to fade in tournaments, I would much rather go Arrieta than I would Kluber here. So if you're looking at a fade, which I think a lot of people are going to look at Kluber and go heavy, but that Toronto offense is no joke, and I think it might be a decent fade, just to kind of get off them, because they they only strike out 21% of the time, 0.329 WOBA against right-handed pitching, which again is 3rd on the slate. So I think it's a little dangerous. So even if you want to take Kluber off and fade him, I think that's a way to get a little different on this slate as well and go extremely high on Zach Plesac and Arrieta. And again, if you want to throw a couple other guys in here, but I think Kluber's going to be 40-50% owned. He could be 30-40, but if you're going to get an edge, that would be my edge, is to fade Kluber here and go heavier on Zach Plesac. So if we look at here and see kind of, some of the stacks that we have, it looks like it's extremely high on Boston, Chicago, Yankees, and of course I forced those 5%ers in. But again, we're going to get a lot of, the Zach Plesac teams. We got a nice Cubs Boston stack, which I like. Here's a Cubs Boston Toronto one-off. I think Toronto's, and this is a good thing too. Maybe I want to, if I'm going to fade Kluber and I think he's going to get shelled a little bit, and because he's going to be a high-owned pitcher, I like to kind of attack that. So maybe I want to put like 15% Toronto here, just to kind of force that in a little bit. Maybe I want to run, 20% Cubs, 20% Yankees. Maybe I want 25% Boston. Maybe I only want 10 or 15%, maybe I want 10% Cleveland, just as men here. And then on this side, kind of leave it as it is. Maybe I want 10% Boston here. And then rerun this thing. Kind of see what it gives us. But that's a good way to get leverage on things. If you want to get leverage on a team and you're fading a pitcher that's going to be pretty high owned, like in Corey Kluber, I think that's a good way to just stack against him. If you think he's going to struggle, that stack's going to be low owned as well. So a way to get on that is hope Toronto can get to him. And if and you'll jump the field in two ways. You'll jump the field because you're fading the Kluber, chalk, and you're just getting, overweight on that. I don't mind even if you want to go extremely heavy on Zach Plesac and just go extremely heavy on him. I think that's a way to get a little different as well. Tanner Huak, I think it's better off on DraftKings at 7,800, but on FanDuel, I don't think I want to go there. I think you want to stick with Zach Plesac and Arrieta are the two guys I'm going to go heaviest on, just at their price. Arrieta 7,600 is just cheap. He's $9K on FanDuel. On DraftKings. So I think I'm going to fade Kluber here. I think I'm going to make that conscious decision that I'm going to go all in on Jake Arrieta, all in on Zach Plesac, and these are the guys that are going to take me. And this is not for the faint of heart. Baseball is a very volatile sport. I wouldn't recommend doing this unless you want to take some stands, and I like to play DFS that way. I like to take stands. So I'm going to take these two guys. I'm going to fade everybody else in my pitching. When I come down here, I did get 8% Kluber, but I'm going to take him out in this next run and just go those two pitchers and kind of see where else that I land here. If we're looking at the teams a little bit, now I'm getting a little bit better. 64% Boston, 43% Chicago, 30% Yankees. I'm getting 50% Toronto, which I do like, 50% Cleveland, and then kind of spread out these other stacks because you never know, any of these teams can kind of go off. It's baseball. And if you're getting these guys at a lower percentage in my secondary stacks, I do like it. But I do like taking stands on my primary ones, and that's where I'm going to lean, going on, again, Yankees, Boston, Chicago, Cleveland. I don't mind if you want to put KC or Toronto, but I think Toronto is the way to stack to get off the Kluber chalk. I think that's great, and 15% is enough for me. I don't think I need to go higher than that because I think they're going to be low owned because everyone's going to be on Kluber. But this is kind of what I'm looking at, going in here and seeing, the primary stacks. I got 25% Boston, 20% Chicago, 20% Yankees, 10% Cleveland. And then on the secondary side, I probably want a little bit more Cleveland here, a little bit more Yankees as well on the secondary side. So come back over here, say, hey, I want 10% Cleveland. And then the Yankees, maybe I want 15% here. Maybe I want 10% Cubs, and then rerun it and see what it gives me. But this is the decisions I'm going to make on the early slate. I think Yankees is the guy I want. Yankees is where I want most. I think, even their implied team total is just, under 5. And Cleveland and Boston and Chicago and Kansas City actually have a 5.19. I don't mind taking some chances at them. They are facing a pitcher that has a 16% K rate, which they can get to. So maybe I want to do this. Maybe I want to put some KC stacks in here and, like, say 5%, maybe go 10% on this side and then rerun it. Just looking at that, I think they're going to be low owned. I think there might be a sneaky stack. Let's rerun this and see what it kind of gives us. This is what you're doing when you're running this. Again, come over to the Domination Station. Projections are loaded. As confirmed lineups come in, these will populate. I don't mind running all my rules first. And as confirmed lineups come in, you'll see green check marks on all these guys. And then it'll take the guys out that are projected and throw the confirmed guys in. So you can still pull all your rules in here. And as you hit refresh projections, it'll automatically pull the confirmed guys in. So I highly recommend setting your rules and just kind of going back and forth here. So pitching, again, we are all in on Plesac and Arrieta. And then on the teams that we have, again, pretty heavy Boston, Chicago here, Yankees, Toronto, KC, Cleveland. I kind of like this. This is kind of where I want to be. I probably want a few more Yankees here. I would like to be like more, maybe 45%. So maybe I come back in here and I'm like, let's run 25% here. And then rerun it and see where we get a little bit higher. But this is how I'm going to set it up. These are the stands that I'm taking on FanDuel. Again, on DraftKings, it's a little bit different because of the pricing. I definitely want still a lot of Plesac, and I'd still fade Kluber. I think you can play him, but it wouldn't shock me if he gets shelled here. And if you want to win tournaments in baseball, you have to take some stands and you have to go look where the chalk is going to be and kind of get against it. So that's where I'm kind of leaning on things, and I'm going to kind of take that chance on Kluber, and hopefully that he gets shelled, and hopefully Toronto can kind of take it to him. He didn't look bad in spring training. I'm going to say I'm just going to take a chance. We saw a lot of studs get taken advantage of early in the season so far. So I just, I have no problem playing Corey Kluber, but this is one of those conscious decisions I'm going to make to kind of fade him and try to get over it. And coming down to Arrieta, which, if you look at DFSArmy projections that we have, I have actually him projected higher than I have Corey Kluber, and you're getting a decent discount. So don't mind Corey Kluber. Just, it's one of those conscious decisions to kind of fade this a little bit and kind of jump over him. So again, early slate 5-gamer. Head on over there. Check out the cheat sheets. I've just looked at them. They are populated, ready to go. Lock is in about 4 hours, so you got a little bit of time to play in. As we get confirmed lineups, they will shoot in. But this is kind of how I'm setting up the Domination Station for MLB for this early slate for FanDuel. Again, DraftKings, where you got 2 pitchers. Head on over to check out these cheat sheets and see what they're all about. So with that, I appreciate each and every one of you, and let's win some money. See you on the flip side. Deuces.